Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited, highly anticipated, since the early beginning of Wales Certified, we was wanting to get this cat on. Now, I want you to know that I know that you know. Hey, they got a ball drop on Times Square. They got the New Orleans Mardi Gras. They got the Rose Bowl parade. But nobody, only old St. Louis, comes with the candy cane lane, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man, I mean to tell you, John.
That's an
Woo!
introduction, baby. That's an introduction there.
All right. Well, I got another one. Is that our man goes, incognito, but he's coming out full force. He's retired Captain John Kuehner, ladies and gentlemen.
With the tell-all tale of Candy Cane Lane.
That's right. But we got to mention your dad was a retired captain, your brother, your oldest brother, retired captain, your cousin, retired captain, and your brother, a retired lieutenant for the St. Louis Police Department.
And cousin Lee Kuehner, also a captain. Actually, because we got to give kudos to them guys. Captain Joe Ted, my brother Joe Ted, my cousin Lee Kuehner, and my uncle were all captains in Engine Company 30 back in the day. So when I got promoted to captain, they retired my dad's badge and had him pinning on me. And then being traditional, Chief Satanics put me in Engine Company 30. So 5 Kuehners had served as captain of Engine Company 30 on the Bolivar. So
wow.
Cha-ching, yeah.
Yeah, baby. Is that the Bolivar and kind of like Hampton goes or?
No, the Bolivar, and it's right down the street from the not the History Museum. Is at the art? Yeah, the History Museum.
Yeah.
Bolivar, Delmar.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, with the bus depot is at.
Right next door.
Yeah, man. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool because I could sit there in the day and look back in the archives because you keep logs of everything that happens in an engine house. I'm off the subject of Candy Cane Lane, but
no, you're not.
I could look at the archives and see reports my dad wrote in 1965 and 66 and a day in the life, and that's just kind of cool to see that stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. So yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, being on the fire department, you had made a deal and you signed the charter and you were to live in the city of St. Louis. So we were always up north, and then we got married, and I was number one on the cabins list, so I had to make sure I was suited in the city, and we moved into St. Louis Hills, and 30 years ago.
Is that many?
Yeah, and found a house on a good street, and it's kind of like 50 years back in time. And St. Louis is a really cool, almost Walnut Park type neighborhood. So
right.
Anyhow, so we stay here, and we decorated the house one year for Christmas. The St. Louis Hills Association gives out awards for decorated houses, so we win the award one year, and then you can't win it for 3 years. So like, oh shit, what we got? Well, they said next year we're going to start a block award, and that block award could be won every year. So I got the guy across the street, TJ Sunhausen, and I said, hey, TJ, let's wrap all these 80-year-old oaks up and down the street like candy canes and snatch that block award. So we did, and it looked pretty cool at night when it's, all these big trees wrapped. So that was pretty much the start of it. And then we won the award. And then the next year, a couple other streets started talking about they were coming after the award. So I got the guys, kind of got like a double block here. I got the guys at the other end and said, hey, they're trying to win this award. You guys do your end of the street too. So they did, which made it a pretty long strip, and it looked even cooler. So we won the award again. Well, then the drive was on. Now it's war. Everybody wants to win this award so they were actually starting to complain about trying to catch up with us to win this award. So I was working for a welder, guy named Mike Vincent, And I was telling him I wanted to make something big to go across the street. And he came up and devised this 30-foot structure, weighs 380 pounds, and he made it all out of angle iron and rebar and cut and welded it. He came up with the Merry Christmas sign that we pull up every year.
Nice.
And that blew people away because we lit it up really cool. We had big wreaths on there. And so that kind of put us out of reach for winning this whole, anyone beating us out of it. But that's a 30-foot structure, goes across the street. It's 380 pounds. We got pulleys up in the trees, and we run aviation cable, 10 times rated what the weight is per city regulations. But anyhow, we tied to the bumper of my truck, and we hoist it up every year, and that kicks off the decoration of everything else. And it just grew from there. Then because People Association couldn't get the award, they decided to make 3 awards.
How's that?
So they made 3 first, second, third place awards. And,
okay.
I felt a participation award at that point. If you want the crown, come and win it,
Yeah.
But so anyhow, and it just grew every year. We end up doing a little bit more, and everyone on the street either participates. We have some elderly or a couple people that are sickly, can't do it. We have Lutheran priest lives on the street, but everyone might not decorate their house, but they allow us to decorate their house, so we get 100% participation up and down the street.
Wow.
And I thought it was going to be our 23rd year, but a Google search on AI says this was our 24th year. So actually, next year will be a big 25 anniversary for. So we started it, and then the guys on the street, we'd put a fire pit out in December, and we'd stand out there and have a cocktail and stand around a fire pit, and the cars just started flowing through, and people were asking, "Do you guys take donations?" And we were like, No. And then the second year, people were coming down. You taking donations? So we got a sign and said, "Yeah, we're taking donations." So we had a charity we gave it to. Was a service trip I go on down to Biloxi with my daughter's Back Bay Mission. So from there, there's 6 or 7 guys get involved, decorate. So now everybody has their own charity, and then certain collection nights. We only collect Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but everyone takes a night, collects for their charity. And I think last year, silly little thing like what we started, but we collected about $60,000.
60?
Yeah, it was part of it goes to this Biloxi place, which is a lot of homeless veterans in Biloxi, because there's an Air Force base there. And for some reason, they have a Air Force veterans homeless population. So this mission is like rehabbing and putting these veterans in their own homes and condos and stuff.
Wow.
Then we do 100 neediest cases. We had a couple people, unfortunately, had cancer on the street, so we collect for their cancer, whatever type what they were. But so we got about 7 different charities we give to now, and it's just, it kind of took on its own little life. We had a guy, Steve Periani, would come out with his accordion, and we'd dance around while we're collecting and singing Christmas music. And we got a guy dressed up like Santa Claus, and we got Christmas carolers come through there all the time. And it just kind of took on a whole life of itself. People just like coming by and standing around the fire and hanging out. We keep Christmas music going everywhere. And it's always going. A couple times a year, I go up to Walmart, get a couple hundred hot dogs, and just hand out free hot dogs to people walking up and down the street. And so it became the place to be seen at Christmas. But the traffic got absolutely out of control, and because these streets weren't made for, I think we're getting 10,000 cars a month or something, literally. So the city had to get involved because everything was jammed up, and we started worrying about ambulances getting through in certain parts, things you don't really think about. But we, guy across the street, Charlie Billings, got in touch with the city and worked with them, and they provide us with sawhorses and street signs and temporary stop signs, and we put them up strategically and kind of direct people and herd them down Candy Cane Lane without affecting the traffic in the rest of the neighborhood, which solved the problem. And then we started getting some police patrol, hiring off-duty police officers to come and direct a little traffic, because it just, like I say, gets bigger and bigger.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so anyhow, that's kind of how it started and where we got to. It grew way out of control than what I ever imagined it would be, but it's a lot of fun. You can any day of the week in December, it don't matter if it's 5 degrees, there's going to be people walking up and down the street, and
Oh,
cars
yeah.
bumper, and but we've been really getting some super nice weather,
Yeah.
and I mean droves. We had problems with cars and traffic jams. Well, then we started having a problem on nice nights with people jam on the sidewalks. I mean, there were
Nice.
so many people that they'd get hung up trying to get across the street, and it
Yeah.
bottled. And
Yeah.
we're like, I don't know how to solve that one. They just got to filter their way through and make it work. But
Yeah.
yeah, we get a 50 or 60 degree Saturday night, December, a week before Christmas, and you just go outside. This looks like Woodstock or something.
Right on, man.
It's really pretty cool.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it is really a deal. 100 miles. I mean, anybody, they would travel 100-mile round trip. That's no problem. And even 200. Take a 200 round trip to see old Capt.Johnny and the boys down on Candy Cane Lane, man.
We shockingly do get some people from pretty far away. And what the big deal now, everyone comes to Ted Drew's, and then they park somewhere over there and get some Ted Drew's, and then they just walk up and down the street, and that way avoid the hour wait in traffic to get down. But some of the people, they wait an hour to come down it, and they're happy when they get there, and they're not disappointed. And everyone's been really, really generous. And so, yeah, and I would get last weekend for Christmas, I'm a retired fireman, so we have a union fire truck that they made a parade pumper out of. So I usually get that on the last weekend before Christmas. And since so many people in the neighborhood streets are participating now, I can get about 20 people on the back of that fire truck, and I take people for rides around St. Louis Hills, a little 20-minute ride, and show them the streets that are, participating the most. And I mean, them people are just, they're lined up all night long for the free fire truck ride.
Oh, man, something red, man, red and shiny.
I'll tell you what, we get a lot of Christmas carolers. Sometimes it's a Greyhound bus full of corner bar people, and they don't sound like the A-team, but it's cool. It's cool that they come down. But there's one time about 25 girls walked up, young ladies, and we thought, okay, they're going to Christmas carol. They might sound okay. And I mean, they froze everybody in their tracks. And it turned out it was the, I don't know what the A-team is at choirs at Corey Zoo, but it was their top choir from Corey Zoo.
Oh,
and
wow.
They were spectacular, and everyone just stopped in their tracks and listened to them. And for about 20 minutes, they sang some Christmas songs, and they were really amazing. So now, since it was so awesome, it went over so well, now they let us know every year, and they come back and they give us a night of the week, and they come and do that Christmas caroling, and it's something really look forward to. It's quite a treat because their acoustics are perfect out there, and just adds to it all.
So the girlfriend and I, we go, and we went by ourselves, and now with the granddaughter, we go. And every year we have a little bit of a back and forth. No, it's this street. No, it's this street. So, Johnny, how would you guide somebody to say, listen, this is the way to see Candy Cane Lane?
Well, you know what? Channel 2 came down, and Andy Banker reported on it back in the day when it was first getting big. And he said after that, the station got flooded with, where's that street at? Where's that? So he said it's set up on Google. So now you can just Google Candy Cane Lane, and it'll give you directions right off of Google.
Nice.
So on the streets, they changed the name of Christmas. Google does to, instead of Murdoch, it's Candy Cane Lane.
Wow.
So they'll direct you right there.
Yeah.
When you get out, and the signs will kind of point you in the direction where you can go and where not to go, but you'll see the taillights. But you're best to park. Find a place to park. We got Francis Park's right there. There's a lot of 45-degree parking. You can get a lot of cars around there, and or just city streets and public parking. So you find a place to park and just walk is what I always tell people now is the best bet.
How,
So
how was it your block or those people down and around the corner that got that radio station to do uh, in sync with the house, with the radio station music?
that is TJ, guy that started this with me across the street. He was in the beginning, then Bob Classic and just all the other guys on the street got involved on it. But TJ came out and he sets up a movie screen and he put all that together where you can turn on your radio station and
Yeah.
while you're online, you can watch the movie on the movie screen on your, it'll come in on your radio.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's unbelievable, man. And it's right in sync. I wish I had the rhythm like that.
And most of the decorations, I mean, we've made most of it, and we don't have any like commercial displays or no big money spent on commercial displays. I mean, most of it folds up into boxes. I mean, the majority of it is like 100-foot light strands.
Wow.
We got light bulbs across the street. That's another strand. But as far as fixtures and big displays to try and take away and store, I mean, we put them in different boxes, and each guy takes a couple boxes in their garage, and it gets put away pretty quick. The big sign, I got to get my truck and trailer, and I hang that on a rack behind my building on Hampton. So that's the only. It's kind of difficult, but we start right after Halloween. We get started, and then we try and have it done Thanksgiving weekend, the Friday of Thanksgiving weekend. So we used to have it ready to Saturday night, but so many people were coming by saying, hey, our family's in town for Thanksgiving, but they all leave Saturday morning, so they don't get to see light up on Saturday night. So we start pushing it back to Friday, and just accommodates a lot of people that are in town for Thanksgiving. But yeah, in the beginning, after Halloween, you get that first box out, and you're like, oh, God, the amount of work we got to do here. But we actually have a good time, too, while we're out there. We'll do it on weekends. We had the fire pit going and, order some pizzas and get some music going, a few beers, and everybody's out there decorating. So we kind of make that be a little bit of fun also.
Yeah, but how did this sandcastle guy get involved?
That was a guy a couple doors up, Jamie Dunphy, went to Vianney, and this guy, Danny, I should know his last name, Danny Plocker, I think his name is, but he went to Vianney with, I just said his name.
Jamie Dunphy?
Yeah, Dunphy, Jamie Dunphy. Anyhow, he went to school with him, and this guy comes in because we collect for donations for charities, then he gives us pro bono. We provide the sand, and then he comes and does the carving for us. And yeah, that goes over really big. But he comes every other year. And like last year, we did have it last year, but the year before, he was in the Vatican doing a Last Supper sculpture in the Vatican in Italy. So this guy's like, he's international, and just pretty awesome to get him do us once every other year. But it's 12 tons of sand, and our alderman, Oldenburg, provides the sand for us as a donation, and then this guy comes in and sculpts it. I asked him one time, what's something like this cost if we had to, pay it, and he said it's probably like a $4,500 sculpture. Wow. So a pretty cool donation for him to do for us. And then afterwards, when it's over, our alderman, great guy, Oldenburg, has the city come by and they scoop the 12 tons of sand up, and then they recycle it on all the softball fields at Lindenwood Park and Wilmore Park and Francis Park. So it gets recycled, and it's a win-win-win situation.
Wow. I know Jamie, and so when I upload this and send it to you, you send it to him, and you say, hey, Waylon wants to go viral. Waylon wants to go viral.
Oh, yeah. You know Jamie from your soccer interviews, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. yeah, he's one of the guys on the street that does a collection, and he's one of the pioneers from the very beginning. And yeah, we got a lot of helpers.
Yeah, he's so humble. It was like he just lived in the neighborhood, and a couple guys, and he's just able to say hi to everybody. He never told me nothing about this and the Vatican and all.
Yeah, he's got I don't know what his history is, but he's supposedly a pretty hell of a good soccer player.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
but
sure who he
but you
played for, but
the whale would stop him though. The whale would stop him.
absolutely be a shutout time and time again. That's just north versus south there.
There you go. So the whole story is that you're there with the men and women of the neighborhood, and you say, I got a vision. Next season we're gonna do it this, do it that. Hey, we got a good thing going. But does that run by committee, and say, hey, this will be a great idea and all that?
Well, I mean, yeah, no, we don't shut down anybody's input on anything. If it's a good idea, then yeah, we'll work with it. But we really haven't deviated much from what we do because it's kind of already a full schedule just to get done what
Right.
you know.
It really is a magnificent thing, and every year it's like it's fresh, man. There's nothing old about it, and as far as atmosphere, it's a very peaceful atmosphere that you can tell people smiling, people are walking without pain, and it's just really a great event. I mean, tell you.
Yeah, it is, and our kids feel very lucky to get to be living on the street for all those years and taking part of all that. They really enjoyed it, and it's something look back in their childhood. That's something they really remember.
He said, "Where'd you grow up at? Candy Cane Lane."
Yeah.
Nice.
People always ask us, "Do you have to decorate when you live here?" And they're like, "No, you don't have to. We can't force anybody to."
Right.
But anymore now, when somebody moves on the street, they're looking for trouble. They're coming. So, and they actually do. I think it's legally they have to disclose that because it affects a month of your life as far as I don't know, there's some legal term for it, peace and quiet or whatever that you have a right to, and you need to be advised that that happens on the street. So they all know about it. It's not a surprise for anybody, but most people are coming here. I mean, the kids are just unbelievable. When we moved down here 30 years ago, there was about 6 kids on the street, and now, it's unbelievable. I'd say 25, 30 kids.
Wow.
I mean, there's little herds of them running all over the place now. And
yeah.
Street really turned over, and it's a real young street, and that they're there just for that reason. They wanted to live on Candy Cane Lane, so it's.
So you got less than 5 minutes with me?
5 minutes more? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So you have this whole thing, and like you said, 30, you're sitting back. I have a real feeling that there's people just saying, hey, if you guys want to take a day or, relax, let me help you do this, that you'll have a continuous thing. It isn't just, a couple people and then you don't know. He did it all. I never, you have, because it's like a sense of, Candy Cane Lane without the Candy Cane Lane? Come on, man. It's just, do you feel like that it's a perpetual run on itself?
Run by itself?
Well, it's sort of that people will, get in and do it, or you don't have to.
It's it don't do itself, but it goes up the same way every time. Luckily, as me and TJ are getting older, and Bob Classic, some of the guys that started it, we're older now, and it's kind of hard to do what we used to do out there. So we got a guy. We had three blessings, like Charlie Billings across the street, and Matt Moshbaugh, and this Benmore Marco. These guys came in hot, and they're pretty much like going to town on it and doing the majority of the work these days. Charlie set us up as a, was it a 503c or something? But we're a not for organization now, and that was stuff I never even thought to do.
Yeah, right. That's what I was seeking. That those guys stepped up. Applaud them. Yeah, nice.
Oh, big time, big time.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be going without them. Actually.
Wow. Wow.
We're getting old, beat up, and
yeah, man.
At that time, it was like, oh man, I don't know if we can keep this going. One guy moved away, and I got the bad back situation, and then these young bucks moved in. They're like, hey, we got it. I'm
nice.
Like, go out there and point fingers a little bit, tell them what to do, but they all know it.
Yeah, right.
They've done it enough times now. So now we get a lift every year. In the old school days, we would put 3 ladders up around these big oaks, and 3 guys reached the line around and just kept stapling. We go to the next, and it would take 3 weekends to do. And now we get this lift for a weekend, and this Benmore Marco goes to town, and he knocks it out pretty much in a weekend, getting all the overhead stuff that crosses the street.
Yeah,
he's got that down now, and he just comes down the streets, and poof, next Monday it's tops done. And then you work on the trees, and then you work on the 9. It kind of like little chunks of stuff you attack.
That's almost like a joke. 3 guys in a ladder with a tree.
A couple of these guys fell off these ladders too.
Oh, mamma mia, mamma mia.
Luckily, we were young enough to bounce, and nobody got hurt.
Yeah,
yeah. There's been a few funny stories from over the years.
There you go.
Yeah. One guy, Nick Zervos, guy on the street, he's here, and his 85-year-old father's there.
Oh, my gosh.
And he comes out, and he's just standing under the tree, holding one of the ladders, and he's helping us. And one of the guys, Bob Classic, falls out of the tree, lands on his dad, who's 85 years old.
Gee.
But nobody got hurt. He's a tough old guy.
Yeah, was he laughing? Like, get off him.
Yeah, but laughing right away. But, everybody was fine. It became funny.
Oh, beautiful, man. Beautiful. Okay, so it's a custom here at Whale Certified, and I want to be able to say on behalf of the citizens of St. Louis, Missouri, and the greater Midwest in the United States of America. Candy Cane Lane is in the Whale Certified Hall of Affinity.
You got my still approval, brother.
All right, and you have the authority invested in you by Whales that you can Whale certify people from now on.
Oh well, that's also responsibility for one man.
But only on Candy Cane Lane. You can't go around. Yeah.
I cross the street, I lose the power.
Huh? There you go, pal. There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah. So we go with saying, hey, Johnny, hey, Capt.Johnny, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to for as long as you want to say it for, this is your opportunity.
Well, I don't think that I have anything. I stuck my my Kuehner legacies in the beginning, so that was probably a part I wanted to sneak in. So we were able to get that done, and you pretty much covered Candy Cane Lane. So I'm good. But anyone out there that's listening, come on down for Candy Cane Lane in December 1st of 2026. We'll be there.
Yep. It's a treat. And I'll guarantee you just can't go one time. I mean, it's no. And if you miss a year, you can't wait to go back the next year. So this is really something, John. Way to go.
All right, appreciate it, brother. I'm flattered and honored that we were chosen to be talked about.
Palumpo. And tell the dude, I want to go viral. I want to go viral.
The dude.
Yeah.
Another legacy.
Yeah.
Legends.
Okay.
Legend.
All right, then. Bye-bye.
All right, buddy. Take care.